Please scan. Oh my god, we can't even get there. What is it now, Victus? Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Victus pauses as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wasarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Warn me of what? I don't know this person. Could you be more specific with your warning? Bruh, I am trying to get to a prison planetoid. Can you just stop interrupting me? And this isn't Victus, this is the dude who wants to talk to me. Hashtag priorities, sir. If you have any issues, bring it up with Abelard. He is the seneschal, is he not? It's like complaining to the queen when you should be complaining to her advisor. Or seneschal. The role is there for his Abelard. Can you just get rid of the riffraff? The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger. Abelard's voice the loudest of all. Oh, that's a good sign. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. Dark echelons. I can read. Avrilla Vent. Wait, that's not the person that Victor said it was. Deal with the situation regarding Depot 4. Depot. I said Depot. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look him in the eye and says, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Why can't you just convey your message to Abelard? There's a chain of command for a reason. Very well, Lieutenant. Should I be saying Lieutenant? That sounds weird to me. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Ooh, can we go further than that? I didn't get to flog Victus. Can we flog her instead? Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avrilla Vent, requesting permission to speak. Vent falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. I will listen to what you have to say. Speak, Lieutenant. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having two officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. Sorry, Abelard, you're going to catch a stray with that one. I will not tolerate this kind of conduct on my ship. Abelard, assign the lieutenant an appropriate punishment. Lieutenant, you have 1 minute to state your business. Ha! Take that, Vent. Yes, Lord Captain. Listen to my report and punish me as you wish, but all that matters is that you hear me out. Look, punishment is pending what you actually have to tell me. This Vent, a pleading note entering her voice. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. Why is there a workers' strike? Guys, there's a shortage of manpower aboard this ship. Can you at least wait till we get new people on board before you do something like that? My God, it's like no one on the ship has a sense of priorities. But I'm convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost, you're going to have to be more specific, honey. You're giving me vague, ambiguous terms and I don't really know what's happening. Vent is almost trembling with attention as she delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Abelard, to translate. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical laugh. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wasarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She's clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she's finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship, and no one has informed me? How did this all start? Where does Seneschal Wasarian come onto this? I would not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. Finally, someone who has the capacity to understand. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. Although I gotta say, revolt seems like something I probably ought to know. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order. But even 8 years later, we were still battling rumours that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. There's no tyranny on my damn ship! What are they fighting for this time? Abelard scoffs. Needless to say, the rumours were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, she will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem will disturb the rogue trader with next. So do I. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I've already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. What tools did you give her? If I may, your ladyship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. I don't entirely disagree with you. How did it all start? The situation can boil over any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to head. Why? I don't understand. Wait, I don't understand the conflict. Where does Seneschal Wersarian come into all this? I shall explain, Abelard intones grimly. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for you as long as I see fit. There is an established order of the way things are done on the ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. Thank you, Seneschal. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that. Yes, thank you. I have always handled internal problems myself, so, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower levels, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on our ship. That's great, but how does this tie into a dead cultist? You're far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Wersarian. Oh, you're Wersarian. Okay, I thought this was like a third person entirely, because I forgot this dude had a surname. Right, Abelard is Wersarian. I follow. Okay. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink, Vent says bitterly. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4, to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. A situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Abelard, what do you have to say to all this? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. I feel like you're a bit heavy-handed, sir. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harbouring heretics. That way, you will stop the outrousing before it begins. What is Depot 4? Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It is home to clans of general labourers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialised systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now, more besides, giving succor to cultists and minions of the arch enemy. Bro, you need to just calm the fuck down and stop thinking that you're below other people. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rot-gout brewing. We've handled the workers on Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to the sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all the neighbouring sectors. I've heard enough. I will go down to the lower decks and deal with this problem personally. I am certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions for myself. This matter is not worth the rogue trader's time. Leave the bridge and don't ever disturb me again. Does this one mean I will still be going down and having a look, or what? I'll pick that. Throne preserve you, Lord Captain. I thank you for your support. Abelard grits his teeth slightly. Look, I kind of backed you. I didn't throw you to the wolves, which would have been the first option. An enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Fine, as long as shots aren't fired prematurely. Oh, wait, you're a melee. Bruh. Are we about to get into combat? Okay. This could go poorly. Abelard, keep your hands to yourself. We need to be charismatic and charming and win over everybody, or coerce the brute force gone to kill them. Oh, how are we going to go to the side? Oh, God. Okay, team, let's go. Oh boy, I didn't realize we could move. Oh, yes. No, are we in a cutscene or are we not in a cutscene?
Oh, what lies?
We weren't, but we are
beyond.
now. Okay. Hey, it's Rosarian. Take that, scum. Look who it is. This is all his fault. All of it. Look, bro, you probably deserve that. Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one. A rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. You did not! There will be no servitors above my ship if I can... aboard my ship if I can prevent it. The one at the Chamber of the Warrant of Trade, I can't do anything about that. Did you hear? They were shouting your name. The people dared to disrespect a senior officer. Let's keep moving. We need to get to the bottom of this. Sorry, bro. Don't have time for a chat. We've got shit to discover. Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material, especially where the workers sleep between shifts. There are valves. Do I need to touch? Like, I don't know what direction I'm supposed to be going in. Like, do I need to touch valves? I don't know. I don't know where we're going. They're in a frenzy. Oh, that's not ideal.
One step at a time.
That is
Amidst
absolutely
the
not ideal.
madness.
What are the valves? I don't know what the thing is with the valves. A machine right set. Hello? Okay. Cool. I'm just gonna... I can't keep going. Okay. That's nice. I guess we're gonna back out now. What happens if I touch a valve?
Patience. Oh, my nerves are
I
frayed.
can't touch a valve, so why are they even an option? Whatever. Maybe they can be used later on. Okay. Hello. I still do not see our purpose in coming here. Look.
There will be no
Wow,
peace.
nobles from the
in
upper decks
my
down here to
wake.
see us. Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live. Yeah, I agree with Adira. Oh, there's Avrilla. The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avrilla Vent of the Ships and Forces is barring the path of a heavily built assault unit officer, and judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already and has now reached boiling point. It took me that long to get here? I have my orders, to put an end to the unrest and purge this sector. You can take your orders and shove them. This is my deck and my sector. There are only 3 people who can waltz in here without my express permission. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard, about the hierarchy of order? Yeah, cool. Abelard matters in a crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means Lieutenant Vent, the officer looming over her, or both. Your ladyship. Noticing you, the 2 junior officers snap to attention and salute, their subordinates following suit a moment later. What's the situation? We encountered some locals on our way here. Their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. I want to speak to the strikers. Hey, fireworks. It's a bit early. I give the assault unit permission to open fire. We will crush the seeds of insurrection with full force. I don't want to speak to the strikers. Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Right you are, Lord Captain. Allow me to wish you good luck. Hope gleams in Lieutenant Vent's eyes. Am I following you? I think I'm going your way, which is where I was trying to go in the first place, and you stopped me. Okay. Hi. Just here to decrease tensions. Sorry. I don't really know. Yeah, look. I'm here. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Hello, are you the ringleader, sir? And is that your right hand? Rivet. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. Is the elderly woman the one behind him? Where's the elderly woman? It's the only person not reacting, so it has to be. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you've come down to us. Tell me what is troubling you. Why are you striking? We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain this? Just be kind first. It's called a sandwich for a reason, you know, compliment sandwich. Striking? That's news to us, your ladyship. This is a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman, who turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word, and they're reaching for their batons. Batons? If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for a week at a time. Abelard, were you aware of this? So we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. The old woman spits to the floor. Can you not do that? It's unhygienic and unsanitary. And rubs on the spittle with the toe of her... I'm going to move on before I throw up. Agenda does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. Stager. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amid ships and has no fellow feeling towards us. The grim man with the scarred face throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now that we've got guns pointed at us, all we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. The persecution started apropos of nothing, you say. I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and that there are heretics hiding here. Abelard, do you have anything to add? I authorized the use of all necessary measures to locate chaos worshippers hiding in the sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported. Okay, there we go. He was not fully aware of the situation. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Ha! Well, you didn't know what was going on, so you were at fault here. Kind of. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. I don't think they were. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. Yeah, but are there any cultists in front of you? No. I'm just going to hit 2. I don't like it, but I'm going to do it anyway. A cultist amulet? What's that? The Gewgaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how can we be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around, and therefore no one to educate them in heretical beliefs. I agree with these people. Definitely not. And if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off the dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folk looted the bodies. The boots they came back with. Nobody's ever tread those decks, and boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me that these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots really were fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers in the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we are people of faith. Naive children. Weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? God, that's taking, skepticism and caution a bit too far. And it borders on paranoia. We were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I'd had my 3rd little one. Okay, Argenta, time to step up. Spread your wisdom among the flock. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbours. We were attacked on our way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top-deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who've had just about enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Awareness test succeeded! Oh, whose awareness was that? Cassia's? Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and their glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Oh, good. Yeah, it was Cassia. I was like, it has to be Cassia, right? What changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain herself was asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damn enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Oh, honey, I don't know about that. Give us arms, and we'll govern ourselves, and we'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. You've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbour out of drunkenness or stupidity. Look, I was going to say it, but I don't trust you all with weapons. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who robbed the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. I kind of feel like this is staged. Stager, get it? Having old Nan pose a really drastic situation that no one would ever agree to, and then have this other fellow come in and go, hey, you know, let's not go there, let's just take this easier option, makes us accept his proposal easier because we've seen a worse proposal. That is manipulation at its finest, but I happen to agree with you, so that's fine. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the anointed one turns their back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. The tall worker's eyes dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds, he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Okay, so I only have one skill check here. Thoughts, Abelard? Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step towards embracing chaos. Putting weapons in untrained hands would be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we will consider the rest. Fine, I'll give the order to the enforcers to be withdrawn from the sector, and you'll be given weapons. Let's see how well you cope. 100% success. Superb. Abelard? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and, possibly, becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean that they are not tainted with corruption. That's an overstretch, sir. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. Abelard's face darkens momentarily. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like a metal-choking vine. That is interesting. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever, they'll turn into next. My verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. No. No. The tall worker they call Privet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old woman. Old Nan, listen. The Lord Captain herself has come down to us and is offering concessions. I don't know a single person in the whole depot 4 who has ever stood next to the rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's not the time for you to be a stubborn old crone. I hope I don't alienate her. Listen to us, old man. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made our minds up. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. The old woman hisses in dissatisfaction. You 2 are ganging up on me. Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great. Just fantastic. Lord Captain, we're all agreed. Rivet, you are an idiot. Then it's decided. The persecution will stop, and I will expect you to assist in locating any remaining amulets or weapons left by the cultists. You have failed to convince me. Okay, yeah. Your ladyship, thank you. Talk to the seneschal and calm us around. He's not going to like this. You have not abandoned us lower deckers. You came yourself and settled everything. I'll tell my grandchildren about this. You don't have grandchildren. Of course, your ladyship. We'll root out any nasty business faster than the enforcers, and we'll leave no stone unturned. Okay. Define calmer quarters. I guess we have to get out
In
of
this
here.
tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Well, I'm glad we got out of here without engaging in combat. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companions, saying, I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. He is not going to be happy with me. Bro, you're standing in the poison. Can we not stand here in the acid? So, I don't know what to tell you. Abelard looks at you, and his last vestiges of restraint vanish. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? Don't be so salty with me. You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. No, I didn't. I compromised with the disloyal rabble. There is a difference. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valencia's protectorate? Do not speak to your Lord Captain in that tone. Why are you so angry? I solved the problem. There is some truth to your criticism. Let's talk about your role in this instead. You allowed this revolt to happen. Your actions practically guaranteed it would. I want to go with number 4, but I'm concerned. I should say so. Abelard heaves a sigh, but he visibly relaxes. You simply needed to trust me. I don't. I'm sorry. You just proved that I cannot. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene, Abelard says irascibly. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora, do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No. She did not. Yeah, and she let this kind of bullshit fester as well, I'm sure. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to her grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. Ooh! There is a new Lord Captain aboard this ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I'd be only too willing to trust in my seneschal and not fill my head with such matters, but the situation had spiraled out of your control, Abelard. Give me a reason why I should continue listening to your advice and trusting your judgment. Right now, I don't see any... Oh! Do I attack Theodora or do I attack him? Look, he deserves it. Abelard's face relaxes slightly. You're right. At least it concerns junior officers making complaints directly to you. I'm right about more than that, but I'll take it. And Abelard stands straight at attention. I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. If you're going to waffle on about the Second War, I don't need to hear it again. Abelard speaks slowly, the words coming not easily to him. Oh, you want me to speak slowly? I don't excel at that. I speak really quickly. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's protector. I don't know if it's a reflection because I visibly read very quickly or whether I'm just used to speaking very quickly because my brain processes things a lot quicker than the average person, but I speak really quickly. Anywho, the prosperity of the Von Valencia's protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders just catches me every time because there was a band in Australia called the Rogue Traders. So just every time I say it, I get them in my head. Do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left everything behind I had known. Yes, transposed. Everything my family had known. I came from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. So Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. These paragraphs just get bigger. Why can't you just speak to me, Abelard? One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I'm trying to get to the planets, sir, but y'all keep interrupting my travel. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving, because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Context is pretty important, Abelard, so it can actually. Theodora trusted in established procedures, and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep bullying, I mean he was bullying, building the future of the Von Valancias protected with me, stop living in the past. Harsh, but true. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. Accept it, and start living in a new world. A world where Theodora is gone, and where you and I have new decisions to make. It's like a kind of version of that. The prosperity of the Von Valancias Protectorate is just as important to me. You are the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of how things run on this ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. I don't know that I will. I value what Theodora created, and I trust that this situation... I mean, do I? I didn't really know the woman, and I don't really know the situation she created to really back it up. I trust that the situation is an aberration in the ship's otherwise smooth operation. Since the established procedures are working, I see no reason to change them. I've seen plenty of sentiment and hand-wringing in recent days, but very little competence. I have no plans to rely on your judgment or your tried test. It's harsh, but I gotta do it. Sorry, man. I'm sorry, but I have to. Abelard solemnly inclines his head. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest, your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. Hey, you hear that, guys? This noble's got strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. This is a win! And now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. I do not disagree. Winning! Let's go, guys.
What lies beyond?
Okay, I'm quite pleased with how the outcome of that. I picked a compromising solution to the strike, and I put Abelard in this place while also kind of going, yeah, we can get along going ahead. Yeah. Balance in all things, guys. Balance in all things. Okay. Can I finally get to this goddamn planetoid?